especially during those stretches?
Well, I thought we played really well. I mean, I think we're getting better. The last 8 days, we performed at a pretty high level, and I thought our activity defensively was terrific. 17 steals. I don't know if I've ever had. Is that the highest that we've ever had since I've been here? Against a good team. And now, granted, their point guard got hurt, obviously, and that definitely hurt them. But our activity level was good. You know, it was kind of a strange rotation out of our traps, and they made us pay a few times. But I think the traps were more beneficial than what hurt us. And then KJ got us off to a good start because we weren't really doing much offensively at all. And then after we got in a little bit of rhythm, even when they cut it to 10, I thought our offensive possessions were better. They just had a guy block every shot at the rim. I mean, but we got the ball where it wanted to go. But I don't know that I've ever seen a player that I've coached against that's quicker off his feet than what Trace is. I mean, you're wide open and he blocks it from nowhere. But we executed. We shot it well, except for Jay, and that's the best we defended, I think, all year.
I know it's still fresh, but you were pretty high praise about your game, your start against Missouri. Did you think today was equal to that, better than that?
I thought we played better today than we did against Missouri. You know, against Missouri, they got some looks that were pretty good looks that didn't make it, and they got some layups and things like that. Today, I mean, they for the most part, except in when their best offense there in the second half is when Trace blocked a shot and they led to numbers, and at least from the way I saw it. So it's hard to defend that. But when we played 5-on-5, I thought our defense was the best it's been.
And Zuby had a...
He was great.
Yeah. Go.
Our bench was good. We decided to go with Zuby as the first big, and Zach was going to be the guy that we went to if things didn't go well with Zub. But Zub was great. He did a good job on Trace in the time he guarded him, and he played big and set good screens and played to his athletic ability. I thought he played terrific, and I thought Bobby was fantastic too. Bobby played great as well.
It sounded like Zuby had a good week of practice, but how much do you think of this performance was that matchup and just I got to show up against this guy?
If you go back and look at the tape, which I haven't yet, but I think a good portion of Zuby's minutes was when Trace was not in the game. I think he guarded 5 quite a bit. So, but yeah, I think that definitely, getting a chance to guard a first-team All-American, I think definitely inspires you to be turned up. But the bottom line is he hadn't had a chance to play. Like, Ernest has played some extended minutes and that kind of stuff. Zuby hadn't had a chance, and we saw today, I think, what he's capable of, though.
And you mentioned against Missouri too, DeJuan took the 2 shots and controlled the game. Tonight he was much more
aggressive.
Yeah. Was that by design, something you guys saw? Bobby, same thing. Both of them got to the rim.
The way they guard ball screens with Trace is they drop coverage a lot. So we tried to force them to go over and then keep attacking the big and hopefully get to the floater. And Juan did a good job of that, and Bobby scored twice on it in the first half as well.
Bill, you mentioned on Thursday that this game would mean a lot for how you looked at your non-conference slate, how it went. How do you feel the state of this team right now after a win like this?
I feel good about it. Yeah, we got to beat Harvard on Thursday, but I think it's Thursday. But yeah, we've done about as well as we can do non-conference. I mean, if you go back and look at the Tennessee game, sure, I would have loved to have won that game, but we learned a lot during that game, and we kind of played makeshift ball that game because of the personnel. But and they handled us, they whipped us, so it wasn't anything close. But other than that, I think we've probably done about as well as we can do against different styles that are not the easiest to play against sometimes. So the Big Ten is I've been in the league for 3. I was in the league for 3 years, and easy baskets are not hard to get against Wisconsin and against Indiana. So I thought we ran good enough offense to at least get some of those.
Coach, presence in the paint was obviously, I'd imagine, a big conversation in this week. You had scored 50 points in the paint and then out-rebounded Indiana by 3. Kind of what was the conversation and what was the key to be able to limit Trace Jackson-Davis and then Trace Thompson for today's game?
Well, I don't think we shut them out without, but we did do a decent job on them. We helped our bigs by trapping some, and then they made some shots out of traps a few times. But you know, they don't shoot a ton of threes. They shoot 20 for the year, which was the least nobody shot 20 against us. Everybody shot at least more than 20 against us. So at least we've made them play outside in some, because they shot 14 in the first half, which is probably a good sign for us that they weren't getting what they wanted inside as much, because they definitely want to throw it inside. So, but we didn't do anything special. We you know, just respected a good player and try to limit his good touches.
Bill, over here, you said the last 8 days of basketball have been some of the best you've seen, and I'm thinking that might include some practices too.
No, just the
Just the games.
We're not a great
But
practice.
what has changed? Do you see in the last 2 games than maybe the previous games?
I think our defense is getting better. I do. I think we're flying around. It's easier to fly around at home than it is on the road, but I think our defense is getting better. We didn't rebound it great today, but that's obviously not a strength of ours, so I thought it was above average considering it's not a strength. But the biggest thing is, I think our ball and body movement's getting better. We're able to lock in and score with 5 players on offense, where we have been only scoring with 4. And so I think KJ's made a huge difference in that.
What do you think of Grady's steals? Is that just athleticism or instinct or what?
Yeah, well, you know, he had 5 and Kevin had 5, I think, and yeah, I thought Grady had his best defense, but Grady probably had his best all-around game today. You know, if you look at both ends defensively and also, you know, being patient and not forcing it, and then when he had an opportunity to score, he took advantage of it. So yeah, I thought Grady was really good. I thought, you know, you can go down the list. We had a lot of guys play really well today.
You were busy and didn't see it, but Dick Vitale started crying when the KU honored him today. What did you talk to him this week? And
Yeah,
what do you think of that?
I talked to Dick. I've talked to him periodically, you know, all the time. But I did talk to him this week, and he was looking forward to coming out here, and you know, Lickard and his team, Shep, thought it'd be a good idea to do that for Dick, and I think Nick did. I didn't see it, but I think Nick did something for him, which is great. So, yeah, he's meant a lot to our game, and has done, you know, an unbelievable job of promoting our sport for 40 years, so or 40 plus years. So, yeah, it was nice. And I didn't see it because it was a timeout, but I think our fans obviously did a nice job paying a tribute to a job well done.
Bill, I know you mentioned earlier this week that you wanted to see one of your 3 bigs step up after KJ. Did you like what you saw out of Zuby today, and kind of what he's building towards to getting more minutes consistently?
Well, yeah, you know, we'll see how practice goes and stuff, but I thought Zuby was great today. I thought he played to his length. You know, you guys, they didn't show up in the stat, but you know, there was a couple of fouls that were called down low, and Zuby blocked shots out of bounds and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's an athlete. I thought his hands looked good, and I thought he looked, you know, he didn't fumble balls. After he got his first, should have been an uncontested dunk almost, after he hesitated on that and got it blocked, I thought he was really good. Anybody else?
Anything else?
We've talked about Juan's passing ability quite a bit, obviously. Today he has 10 assists without playing much of the first half. What can you attribute that to? Is it his court vision? Is it his ability to thread the needle, or what makes him such a great passer?
Well, he's got eyes everywhere, all around his head. You know, he can see, and he can count. I mean, you know, they used to say this about John Vaughn. You know, he can count to 10 or 9, and so he can always see what 9 guys are doing on the floor at once. And Juan has that same gift. He can think 2 passes ahead. He sees that, he feels that. So, and the other thing about him, I mean, not Steve Nash, I'm not even comparing that. But you guys know how Steve used to dribble it around and keep his dribble alive and stuff like that. The more guys dribble, it's usually bad. The more he dribbles, it's good for us. Because he just kind of has a way of teams playing good defense, and then all of a sudden he can keep dribbling, a guy turn his head and he can make them pay. He's got great feel. I've said it 1,000 times. I can't imagine there's a more underrated player in the country than what Juan is.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.